Hey there, today I want to show you how to shape natural nails round. These are almost there, but there's actually a few little details we can improve to make them all even and round. So let's begin. Hey there and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Paola of paolaponcenails.com, and in this channel we speak soft gel and solopreneurship in the nail industry. If this sounds like a niche you'd like to consider exploring, then at the end of this video do consider subscribing. Alright, so here are my nails. I have to be honest, they're not in the best condition. Maybe 2 removals ago I wasn't the nicest. I had things to do, places to get to, and so there is a little bit of wear and tear or damage on them, but that is not the point of today's video. Today's video is all about shaping natural nails round, specifically short natural nails. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give myself a manicure and I'm in between shapes, round or actually a mini claw. So I thought I showed you the round since that's the most surface area that we have right now. If we trim down to claw nails, little tiny claws, I can show you the round. Okay, first things first, when I'm shaping nails, I actually like to work with a nail nipper. What does that look like exactly? Give me one moment while I get that for you. Ta-da! A nail nipper. If you're wondering where do I get this and what is it, so it's a very strong, thick nipper, but instead of it being used to cut cuticle or eponychium, it's meant to be durable enough to cut nails and anything else actually. So I use this for plastic tips, natural nails. I've used it for little chains on the nail. Very durable. You can get these at Nationally Nails. They're from Stylist makes them, or you can get them from Daily Charm. I'll drop some links in the description box below if you're interested, but I do believe this is a tool that everyone needs to have when doing any type of manicure, even your own. But you do have to know what you're doing because it's so easy to dig into your sidewalls and cut something that you're not supposed to cut. So how do I shape my little ugly nails into a round shape? First, what does a round shape look like? Actually, you're kind of looking at round. Okay, this is truly round, obviously with some tapering and some details that need to happen. But for example, this one here is a round nail. So we want something like this. You can see here the small pinky nail is also a round nail. And everything else needs a little bit of work. Not everyone is going to have even like parallel sidewalls perfectly. Like what I mean is this here. This obviously does not match. It's not parallel to this sidewall, this nail groove in there. This side of the nail wants to kind of grow out this way. So I want to train them a little bit throughout my manicure so that they grow nice and round. So first things first, I'm going to see what I need to trim on the sides to help me get to a round nail shape. If I just taper this here, this is quite perfect because when you're measuring round or square nails, you want to pretend that your nail has corners, okay? So even though this cuticle area of my nail is essentially round, I want to imagine that it actually has corners. So like a corner there and a corner there, okay? And then I want to carry those points down to like over here in the exact, obviously, direction. So what I've done now is I've squared the nail off essentially, right? Even though it's in a rectangular shape. I've squared it off and I found my corners, and I basically want my points. So I want to imagine that there is like these invisible points that I need to file to. So if my nail here, you know, comes out too much, I may want to trim that. The same thing here. So I need to find the corners on this gnarly middle finger also, okay? So that I can have nice, even, like the side area of the nail. For example, if I draw corners on this thumb here, so I would say my corners are like right here and right there. It's basically like the most boxy area of the cuticle area that you can find. And I want to carry that down over here somewhere. So again, boom. Oops, sorry. Okay, scratch that one. Things are gonna get messy. But see, if I follow this point down to this point, I can clearly see there's like a corner here. And if I follow this point down to this point, I can clearly see there is like another corner there, like an actual corner to this round nail. So this is what I do for square and round nails. Okay, so the same thing here. If I carry this on, I can kind of see a corner right there. It's matching. And then a corner like right over here. So this one I can file it in a little bit more because my corner is like right there. Okay, but what about this one? See, you're going to be able to see clearly what I'm talking about with this nail, because this one is my gnarly nail. It always does a funky thing because, you know, this is my writing finger, and I used to really put much pressure on this growing up writing because I really like penmanship. In this case, here's my corner around the cuticle area, and I can find a corner nearby. For example, there's a corner literally right there. I don't know if you can see it, for that round nail. But what about this one? Watch this. This corner, so my point of this cuticle area, it's like around there. If I wanted like a slender nail, and if I wanted this side to be straight, which is not, because again, it's like going that way, right? So notice where my corner is, you know, my corner is like over here. And so you can see that that is why this nail is like fanning out at the free edge, because if I would try to square off this nail, my corner, my filing should end right over here actually. But instead, it ends over here because that's just how the nail grows. So this is one of those scenarios where I would cut the sidewall on my nail just a little bit, because I don't like that it fans this way, because then my gel is going to look wide there, and I personally do not like that. I do have a relatively straight wall here. Actually, this nail wall is straight, but this, you have to be careful because there is that indent there. That usually happens when you're a little too aggressive with your e-filing. Raising my third hand over here. But the corner, oops. So the corner is kind of very accurate actually on here to here, and to here it's a little bit over here, so I can file it in a little bit there. Okay, now I want to show you what I mean, because you're probably like, I'm folding this little tab here, and what I mean by square it off is literally like if I put squares and I cut this into a rectangle, so I squared off each end, and hopefully this would be like the same size of the nail inside. And if you're like, whoa, Paula, this is way too technical for me, but that's truly how you have to see filing in your nails, okay? Because if you don't, then your nails are always going to look different. All 5 of them are going to be doing something different. Thumb looks fine. It's not like fanning out here. It's not super slender at the free edge either. It matches this width here, and we can bring it in even a little bit more. My pinky's fine too. This is fine too. We can do a little bit tapering here, and this one definitely needs to come in a little bit, and then this is fine. And okay, so we need these guys. And for the nails that are excessively like fanning out of our tracks, right, following our points, what we want to do is take our straight edge nippers. Look how straight these are. And for example, just start very, conservative, because you obviously cannot put nail back on there like real nail. You'll have to put an extension if you mess this up. So I'm just going to be very conservative and file like right there. Now, if you don't have this problem, don't worry. You'll still learn a thing or two. So again, very conservative with my nipping. I don't want to dig my nippers in there as I'm cutting. Anytime I cut, actually the point is away from the skin, so it never digs into the groove. So I did just a little bit of tapering there. Not everything else I don't want to cut, because I can probably cut off way more than I need to. Okay, cut this sidewall just a little bit, tiny bit, because this is where my point is, but my actual corner of the nail is like a little bit this way. Okay, now what would happen if you wouldn't taper these corners up a little bit? Nothing. You might just end up with a free edge that's a little bit too fan out, and I know a lot of people, including myself, We like a nail that is more straight, right? We want them to be parallel, okay? So next thing that you need to do is grab an emery board. These are disposable and they are by Stylists. This is the adhesive one. There is one that you just kind of slip on there that's like double-sided. Now, again, you might not have to do this to your nails, the nipping, but if you do, that's how you would do it safely, just to give the illusion that your nails tracks are straight, okay? I think that makes a manicure very pretty, and it's such a foundational learning concept. And frankly, I'll tell you, you know, it didn't quite click to me how nails were supposed to be shaped right off the bat. It took a little bit of time. So this is a little bit flexible. In case you were taking down length, you may want to use a board file, and I wouldn't use anything more than a 180 grit. So a board file is a file that literally has a board inside. It's 180. It's quite firm. It's not super flexible. But because most of my nails are there as far as shape and the tracks and the sidewalls, this would do. I know not to file further in than my point. That will not give me a straight track, a straight line there for my shaping. And I want to do it gentle and in one direction. And again, what I don't want to do too much is put my file in there like this, because then it's going to just cause separation there. I think this is what happened years ago there. I guess I was going a little too rough. Okay, so keep your file straight as possible. Then sometimes, obviously, you will have to give it a curve a little bit, but for the most part, just keep it straight. Now, I'm not going to exactly meet that point, because actually my point up here is like way in here. Okay, so it does match there. Okay, so the same thing here. Notice this thumb is pretty much done for you already. I don't need to touch it much, but I do want a straight wall there. Okay, and for round, what we do is not straight this way, so not perpendicular to the nail, but rather at a slight angle. So bring it in just slightly, go in one direction. And again, my thumb is pretty much there. I'm just enhancing it a tiny bit. Do the same thing for all of your 5 fingernails. Okay, so typically these 2 nails are the same. This is a little longer. It's up to you whether you want the thumb shorter or longer. I don't know. It grows really fast for me, so I like mine shorter. If it grows slow for you, maybe you'll go a little longer. And then your pinky, as long as it's shorter than like this or this, it typically looks okay. If it's longer or equal length of any of these, it will not look right. So it does have to be shorter. This broke off, so this is the length that I have to work with, so I don't have to even decide. Okay, so now I'm gonna go this angle because this is considered the client's angle. And the point is to go straight first so you can make it even, right? Because it was a little pointed compared to these. And then once you're straight and you've shortened it to the length that you want to, now flex or bring your file in at an angle. And because I'm doing my dominant hand with my non-dominant, I rather move my hand than my file. Okay, coming along. Same thing here. You can see from the client's perspective, I'm the client in this case, that this side's a little longer, like this was a little longer. And here, this is a little crooked here, so I bring it in. All right, and there you go. I pretty much have my round shape. Just need a little bit of tapering. And that is essentially a rounded nail. All right, and I recorded this set right before doing this set, so I hope you enjoyed me shaping these nails and you can see the final look here. I'll see you next week for another video, and we do have a current waitlist for our upcoming class. Make sure you check that out in the description box below. Bye for now.